The Defence Research and Development Organization, country's apex defence research body, is all set to change its functioning and its structure. A 9-member committee headed by the former Principal Scientific Advisor Vijay Raghavan has recommended several changes in the restructuring of the DRDO that the committee wants to implement. Those recommendations were handed over to the government early this month in January 2024. When it will start implementing those recommendations remains to be seen. But there are interesting aspects to the recommendations and the changes that it might bring. While we'll talk about more details of the committee's report in this week's edition of Simply Nitin, which is on Saturday, I'm going to give you a brief account of what exactly might change in the DRDO functioning. First up, out of the 41 labs that the DRDO has in various sectors and various segments, 34 are going to get divided into different groupings. It could be that aero engines or electronics and missiles can get grouped, 3 or 4 labs can get grouped into one cluster, if you want to call it. So 34 of those 41 labs will actually get divided into those kind of groupings for ease of functioning and ease of doing business with the academia as well as with the defense industry. 7 remaining labs will become centers, or they will be repurposed into centers for use by everyone, including the private sector, private defense industry, and even if the armed forces want to use it immediately. They could include labs like Semilac, which give certification and also give direction to what kind of standards must be applied for any new products that the armed forces want to induct. Senior most directors of these labs, the 34 labs which I spoke about, which will be divided into different segments, will become the coordinators for those clusters, is what the committee has recommended. Should become coordinators is what the committee has recommended. The current director generals who look after various clusters in the existing structure of the DRDO will actually be asked to become members of the apex body or a new department that is being suggested by the committee. And that new department may be called Defence Science, Technology and Innovation Department, or DSTI, which will include, apart from the chairman of DRDO or the Secretary Defence Research and Development Organization, current DGs, as I mentioned, Director Generals, and we'll also have members from the armed forces, of course, who are the end users, and more importantly, experts from the academia, maybe from IITs, IIMs, and members of the private defense industry. Finally, the committee has recommended the change in recruitment pattern of DRDO, and they have said that they should have more campus recruitment, they should have optimum utilization of R&D budget, and also spoken about how the DRDO must not get into every sector. It must allow private sector and academia to work on some of the future projects, and the DRDO must become a bridge between the end user, that is the armed forces, and the academia and the defense industry and innovators from the private sector. A huge kind of tectonic shift will take place if these recommendations are implemented in toto. It remains to be seen when the implementation will start, whether the government will accept the entire report. There are several other aspects to it which we'll talk about in the latest edition or the Saturday's edition of Simply Nitin this week. Till then, watch this program and give us feedback on what you think will DRDO achieve if they implement these revamp and these changes that they're going to take place if the government accepts it. Till then, goodbye.